Okay, I'm back with section 1.5. This is the last section in chapter 1. So after you watch this video and do the homework, you're done with chapter 1. So we're going to be dividing whole numbers. And I want to start out by writing out in English 12 divided by 4. What does that mean? How can I write that? So there's a couple different ways we can write it. We can write horizontally 12 divided by 4. That's one way. We could write 12 over 4. This line means division. That line separating that. Or we could write 4 divided into 12, or 12 divided by 4. So there's a couple different ways we can write this. 4 is the divisor. So 4 is being divided into 12. 12 is called the dividend. So we're taking 12 and we're dividing it up into 4 groups. How many are in each group? Well, if you take and divide up 12, divide it by 4, or 4 groups, you're going to get 3. Just so you know I'm not making something up. Okay, there's 12 dots. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. When I put them in 4 groups, when I divvy them up into 4 groups, I get 3 in each group. 12 divided by 4 is 3. I can also check this, which we're going to do, or it's always good to do. Let's take the answer, which is 3, multiply it by the divisor, which is 4, and we do get 12, so it's correct. So we can always multiply our answer by the divisor, get back to the 12. 12s match up, we're right. Okay? What if we are dividing a number by itself? Okay. What if I had 15 divided by 15? How many times does 15 go into 15? Or if I took 15 and drew it out and drew 15 pieces of candy, how many groups of 15 are there? There's just one group. We can also write it like this if you prefer. I like this. What's 4 divided by 4? How many times does 4 go into 4? Or how many groups of 4 can be made with just 4? 1. So whenever you have a number divided by the same number, it's always 1. What if I had 5 divided by 1? If I took 5 and broke it into groups of 1, I would have 5 groups. So 5 divided by 1 is 5. If I had 10 divided by 1, if I'm going by this, if I keep this pattern, 10 divided by 1 is 10. So whenever you divide anything by 1, even let's say a B, we don't know what B is. I'm just kind of jumping the gun on that a little bit. So if you don't understand that, don't worry, because that's coming up. Would just be B. Any number divided by itself is 1. Any number divided by 1 is itself. Easy? Now what about 0? What if I had 0 divided by 3, or what does that equal? Well, 0 divided by 3 is simply 0. And if I wanted to check that to make sure, I'm going to take my answer times the divisor, which is 3, and I do get back to 0. So these do match up. So whenever 0 is on top, whenever you have 0 divided by a number, it's always going to be 0. Because 3 can go into 0 times. And I can always check it. So if 0's on the top, we're good. What happens when 0's on the bottom? What if I had the opposite of that and said, whoops. What happens when 0 is on the bottom? So most people think that 3 divided by 0 is 0. So let's say you did think that. Let's check it and take our answer times the divisor. 0 times 0, we learned anything times 0 is 0 from last section. And that's not 3, because we needed to get back to 3. So this does not work. So we say in math, "3 divided by 0 is undefined." We can't do it. So you'll see in the homework, undefined, if they give you a problem, 4 divided by 0, or 5 divided by 0, or 10 divided by 0, we just say it's undefined. We can't do it. Now we can do 0 divided by 5. That is equal to 0. So do you see the difference between the two? One has 0 on the bottom, undefined, it can't be done. When 0 is on the top, we can divide 0 by 5. We get 0. Easy? So just remember, on the bottom, 0 on the bottom, undefined, 0 on the top, 0. So I'm going to stop right there. That's part 1. And I'm going to continue with some more division problems in part 2.